The root of all suffering is attachment. This is a famous quote by Buddha, and in this video I'm going to be discussing why your desires and your dreams are actually causing you to suffer and how you can begin to break out of the cycle of chasing. So with that being said, let's get on with the video. Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Christina and I help empower people on their spiritual and healing journeys so they can have a more fulfilling and purposeful driven life. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it's my mission to help empower people just like you and to spread my message to as many people as possible. So the Buddha quote I just said is quite well known, but it is true. And we all get attached to something, whether this is attachment to an outcome, attachment to material things, attachment to somebody, and it's all rooted in desire or even lust. And so when we lust for something, when we have that deep desire for something, it drives us to move in a certain direction to have a particular outcome. And so often when we have these desires, it's our ego's attachment to the outcome, the payoff that we receive when we have that desire. And so often in this 3D reality matrix, we are told that materialistic things will make us happy. So then we have these desires for materialistic things because we think that having that thing will make us feel whole and complete again. And I always think of it's the soul always yearning to feel whole and complete because our souls are very fragmented coming into this human experience because it is very heavy and dense and traumatic for the soul. So I like to think of it as actually our souls are just yearning to feel whole and complete with source again. So we are constantly looking for things to fill that void, fill that hole, as well as having these desires and attachments to things to fill the hole of the suffering and the trauma we received from childhood. We kind of self-soothe with our desires and our lusts and with our desire for materialistic things. And the thing is, when we have all these desires and we lust for something, what it is saying is that in our current situation is that we are not happy with what we currently have or our current life circumstances. So then we desire a different life. We desire things and dream of things that will take us somewhere in order to have a better life. So then this is where I say the ego has an attachment to some future scenario that will make you ultimately happy and complete. But in the present moment, what that means is that you're telling your body, your nervous system, your subconscious that your current environment does not make you happy, and therefore the things you want is because you lack that right now. So then you are suffering in the present moment. And because we have the attachment to our dreams, to our desires, to all our lustful wishes, and that we have that attachment to it, we are resisting the current present moment. And because we don't have that, we create suffering and refuse to accept our current circumstances and what we believe or we are perceiving that we are lacking. So this means that the more you have an attachment, the more you're driven by desires and your dreams, it means you are chasing a future scenario that you don't currently have, and your current situation is one of lack. You don't have whatever, if it's a materialistic thing or whether it's a future lifestyle. It's telling the universe, you're giving off the frequency that you don't have it. Your current situation is awful. You wish you had X, Y, Z. So when you are giving off that frequency, you are saying you don't have it. You're not going to get it. Your current situation is awful. And so you refuse to accept your current situation, and you cause yourself so much suffering because you're resisting the present moment, because you are constantly chasing your dreams rather than allowing it to be attracted to you. So having an ego attachment to a future goal, a future outcome, creates kind of a dis-ease within you, because if you don't achieve your desires, if it's not fulfilled, then maybe you beat yourself up, you go on a downward spiral, you're constantly in that chase mode, you're constantly chasing because your life is currently awful, or you don't feel whole and complete. You're constantly looking for something to make you happy, because the ultimate thing really is most people are looking for things to make them happy. And the more we have these attachments, the more we create suffering in ourselves, because we desire something. And I don't want to say that having dreams and goals is a bad thing, but it's when we get attached to a future outcome or attached to an idea that this thing will finally get me where I want, that creates a suffering. Because what happens when you get there? You never achieve the thing you want, because materialistic things or ideas do not make you whole and complete. What makes you whole and complete is accepting the present moment just as you are and embracing everything that is. So when you chase things, it's always you're chasing something in the future for something that you lack in the present moment. So it creates this disconnection, this disease, and you suffer because you want this outcome. And if you don't get that outcome, then you throw a fit. Your ego just goes crazy because you believe this thing that you lack will create comfort, it'll make you happy. And it just doesn't work like that. It only creates more suffering and creates more desire and more lust for things. And I've been there plenty of times. I used to do a lot of like manifestation visualizations. I was very heavily into law of attraction, and things did manifest for me, things that I couldn't actually explain, like people getting hold of my details. Like I had once the Vegan Life magazine contact me to go and do a stall at their big event in London. And this was a few years ago when I was a representative for some network marketing company to sell their products. And I was like, how on earth has this person from this magazine, this like #1 vegan magazine in the UK, contact me? How have they got hold of my details? I had no idea. And they wanted me to come and do a stall at their event. I didn't go in the end because they wanted like £900 for just like a small little cubicle at their event, and I didn't have the money at that time. And probably it was just so out of my comfort zone. I was like, no way am I doing that. And I'm not a representative for that company anymore anyway. But that's the thing. I was an avid chaser. I was like, I want that goal, and I still can get like that. I'm very ambitious. Everybody has desires. Everybody has that lustful thing because it's human experience. We're in a human experience, and so we have desires, and we all want to have a better life, especially if you come from poverty or you didn't have much, which was my case. And for me recently, with the collective energy and also the frequencies that are getting pumped down into the earth right now, a lot of my fears have come to the surface, and I was journaling on fears of like everything. I had like a fear of something happening to my son, or like that's quite common I think for mums, and I was journaling on a fear of not having the life I want. And I journaled on all of my fears. I journaled for like 5 pages, I think it was, just continuously journaling on my fears. And it's because I have this attachment to a particular lifestyle that I want, a particular way of being. So this is mean I am chasing it rather than actually embodying it and being it in the present moment. And so I had this fear come up that I kind of knew was there, because I always feel like I'm so fed up of like being the person that always has to kind of better myself to chase it and get there all the time. And I realized it's coming from fear, because I am an ambitious person and I didn't grow up in a wealthy family. I come from poverty. I felt like I'm somebody that's always chasing that future lifestyle that I so desperately want, and I quite rightly deserve, because everybody does deserve to have an abundant and happy and healthy life. It is our birthright. But when it comes from a place of you lack that and it causes you to chase it, this means you're just in dis-ease with that. You're just too attached to the future outcome like I was. And I realized this fear came up because I've chased this so much. And I realized I have this fear because I fear being stuck in the present moment with the limited lifestyle that I do not wish to have. So it was like I fear not getting anywhere in my life and still being in exactly the same position that I was, for example, 10 years ago, even though I am not. But I had that fear, and it's causing me to chase. Like I want more for not just for me, but for my son, my family. So this is coming from a place of fear rather than a place of like presence, acceptance where I am, and actually a desire that is healthy to be able to embody it and be that lifestyle, so then it attracts it and embody that, so then it becomes magnetized to me. So you can see where we can create suffering, because if we lack it, that means we are suffering in our present moment, in our current reality, because we are always chasing, we always lustful for different things. And so it is the root of suffering when we do get attached to these external things that we believe will make us whole, complete, make us happy, like we are enough. So I hope this video has been very helpful for you. Let me know your thoughts on attachment and manifestation and having desires and dreams in the comments below. And don't forget to check out this video next, where I talk about how I got out of the matrix for my family. So with that being said, I will see you in that video. Much love.